Well, viewers, let's open this up. As I said, let's go straight across to Mohandas Pai, chairman of RN Capitals. Mr. Pai, Hindenburg, this group is laughing all the way to the bank. It's milked the panic here in India. On the bosses outside, there was hysteria in Parliament. I mean, you know, people thought that the world was coming down, Adani was going to be flat, etc., but we've seen a bit of a recovery. Hope it sort of is a quick one so that the eroded share value is recovered, market cap is restored, etc., etc. And I'm just asking you, was, in your opinion, this hysteria manufactured? Forget about Hindenburg for a moment. Here in India, to sort of push some agenda, and if so, by who?
You know, Rahul, first of all, let us understand one thing. Hindenburg is a short seller and a speculator. He makes money by shorting shares and buying it at a lower price. His intention is to get more and more, the share price falls down, and he makes money. He has to cover up and buy from the market to square up his position for a period of time, and he'll wait till he's reached the bottom. Now, that's the way the market operates. Unfortunately, in this country, part of the media who cannot read balance sheets, who don't understand, have created hysteria. Some of the political leaders are creating hysteria by just working it up as if the whole world is coming to an end. His business has not been impacted. The business is still as good as it is. This shorting is going to happen in the market from time to time. It has happened in the past. It happened again. By creating unnecessary panic, you're allowing this short seller from overseas to make more money. It's like allowing a predator to come into a country, aiding the predator to go after your own people and making him make more money by creating more panic. I don't understand what these people are trying to do. Now, to think that SEBI or RBI will not investigate is silly. SEBI will investigate. RBI will investigate. Those people have made some charges. Much of the charges are already disclosed by Adani. They're already in the public documents. They're already there. You can say you should disclose more as a matter of opinion. Now, you create unnecessary panic at a very critical time when he's exposed because doing an FPO and hammer the market down. And because the price is coming down, many people in India also shorted. A lot of investors in the market will short to make money. It's a very normal response in the capital markets. The stocks are not liquid. Illiquidity is there in many of the stocks because not widely done. So even a small number of shares being sold in the market will create a dramatic fall, just like a small number of shares being purchased can create a dramatic rise. And that's what is happening. If you look at Adani's shares 1 year back, the share price was very different. It went up. You know, I don't want to talk about any reason why it went up. Now it's come down. I don't know why this panic should be there. If you look at his balance sheet, the banks are saying that they're happy they got cash flows. LIC is saying, I've invested, I'm sitting on money. LIC is not bothered. No people's money is lost. No deposit money is lost. The chairman of the State Bank has said we got enough cash flows. He's a better judge than any political leader. What are they making a noise about? What are the media making a noise about? This is a normal transaction in the capital market which happen once in a while when people find that it's good to short something because maybe the price is too high and they create panic, they make money. So we have to wait till the market normalizes, and SEBI and RBI will investigate. It will take time. There's no need for SEBI or RBI to give any certificate to anybody. And as far as Adani is saying that this is against India, that is very far-fetched. If Adani does not go and get any airport, somebody else will come. If it does not set up a green plant, power plant, somebody else will come. India is not short of any investors or capital for somebody to say, I am in Adani's India, India is Adani. That's ridiculous. He should not take the tack. He's only an ordinary company like other companies. And India has got very good companies, magnificent companies, great companies in this country with very good corporate governance standards. We don't have to say, beat our chest and say, oh, everybody in this country is crook. No, but everybody is not a crook. There are a lot of good people in this country. Why create unnecessary panic? They're all playing into the hands of this predator. Hindenburg is a predator. They're playing into the hands. He's laughing all the way to the bank, looking at all these silly media people in this country, semi-educated, the semi-educated political leaders who don't understand a balance sheet, making some silly noises that people's money is lost. Nobody's money is lost.
Okay.
If the banks say that we are okay, why are they bothered?
Okay. Mohandas Pai making 3 points, viewers. Number one, he played into the hands of the predator, that Adani himself should not have wrapped himself up in the Indian tricolour and passed himself off as the India story, so to speak. He shouldn't have done that. Ryan Karanjewala says that, look, you can't separate the two. They're intertwined. That's his point of view, but it was an interesting point of view. He looked at the papers and he said, look at how the stock markets have reacted. So, we can park that. Of course, I'm going to ask Mr. Bansal to respond to Mr. Pai. Could the opposition have held back from jumping to take Hindenburg at free value? Mr. Pai called him a predator. Hindenburg has never shied away from saying that there was an interest in driving down these stocks. Perhaps we shouldn't have played into the hands of this predator, says Mr. Pai. Mr. Bansal, how would you like to respond?
Well, to say that we overreacted, or the Congress party overreacted, at this Hindenburg report, let me say it was not only the party, the opposition was reacted to that. The entire country, the bosses, the investors, the media, everybody was caught unawares, or rather they started speculating, and they pointed out their guns at this Adani group. And definitely, if these sort of allegations, as you yourself admitted, that the poor investors' money, if its stocks go down, then the poor investors, or the speculators, or people who are in the habit of coming from lower middle class families, they invest and then they lose money. So it is the responsibility, I think, of the government at the same time, that the finance minister today comes with her point of view that everything is secure. I think if the entire this panic button has been pressed, the government should have, if they were so confident, if all the government, in fact, it was the prime duty of the government, and these particularly the financial institutions which were in the dock, particularly this life insurance company and the State Bank of India, they should have come out with their report that there is nothing to panic about. In these 5-6 days, the market tumbled, and it nosedived. And as I say, there was as far as the financial spectrum is concerned, there was a complete, everything was going topsy-turvy. I don't say that whatever Hindenburg may be a slimy, he may be a speculator, he has his own axe to grind. Definitely, whosoever is in this stock market business, or who comes out with their reports and all, they definitely have their motives behind it. Everything is not in black and white. And so
you're saying the government, and it's once again the entirely government's fault. They should have reacted earlier. I mean, I agree with you, 6 days, it has. But Mohandas Pai is shaking his head from side to side vigorously. Why? And I want to bring in Arvind Gupta. Dr. Ranganath, just give me 5 minutes. I'll just bring in everybody. Yeah. Yes. Mr. Pai, why are you shaking your head?
Rahul, why should the government give a certificate to anybody? The stock market falls down. That's not the job of the government. The government is not a certifier of value. It's the investors who are the value. And let me tell you, if some bad news comes down, a lot of smart investors will sell. The first thing will sell. If you are investing in the market, there's some bad news, you will sell. Ranganath will sell if it is following the market. Arvind, everybody in his sane mind will sell to make money. You are in the market to make money. If you see some good news, you'll buy. If there's bad news, you'll sell first, sell short, make money. That's the way to do it. If you look at the Adani stock over the last few years,
no, but 1 second, Mr. Pai, some people will argue. Now, hang on. Some people will argue. And let me also bring in Arvind Gupta on that point. Mr. Gupta, if you look at the Hindenburg report, now I'm not taking it at face value. So I'm putting that caveat out there. Talks about insider trading, about money, dirty money coming in through, circuitous, Mauritius route, this, that, the other, insider trading, manipulation of stocks. Now, these are things that SEBI monitors on a daily basis. If that wasn't the case, SEBI should have just come out and said, sorry, this report is bakwas, it's junk. But we didn't see that, Arvind Gupta.
So, Rahul, let me first give you some verbatim on a US case of DraftKings that is quoted this, and it is the context setting. Short sellers are not unbiased narrators. And when they publish damning revelations about publicly traded companies, the judge noted it's usually because they are hoping to drive down the company's share price so that they can cover their bets. So I think that premise has been made, and I'm glad Mr. Vivek Bansal from the Congress has acknowledged that that this is that Hindenburg may not be the cleanest person on this planet. And I certainly don't have any brief for the Adanis, but I think the way this has been done is a classical short player, seller who's going short on a share, has played out the market and really played the information asymmetry very well and created panic and has made money. And all of us have agreed to that.
No, but we are all concerned, Mr. Gupta,
I'm coming to the second part. I'm coming to the second part.
The shareholder, people like you and I'm not exposed to the share market, but I've always thought it's a bit of a mug's game. But nonetheless, there are hundreds and thousands of Indians. Should we have allowed?
We understand.
Yeah.
Now let me respond to carefully explain. The same shareholders have made a lot of money also on the same shares. You're talking about LIC, for example. Their acquisition price, average acquisition price of these shares is probably 30,000. They're currently sitting on 50,000 plus. They're sitting on a 65+% profit.
No, frankly, I don't know. Hang on, Mr. Gupta. See, let's be very certain here. We don't know if LIC continued to expose itself even after the Hindenburg report and when the FPO.
I am not getting it. That is LIC's business.
Why haven't I heard from LIC on these specificities?
A disclosure, and it's a fiduciary responsibility they will have. And that's where I'm coming to the role of the regulators and the government that you asked.
Okay.
The government should not respond if some share is going up or coming down. The government has to look for systemic patterns. And if there is a systemic failure, which the finance minister has said there is none, there is a systemic failure or systemic issue, then the government will act on its own. But right now, it is the regulators, which are government entities, the RBI and the SEBI, which will play the role and are playing the role. The RBI has asked for the capital adequacy from the banks where they have credit exposure, the loan exposure, and the SEBI is looking at it, whether there is any malpractice in this, whether there is truth to some of the...
So you're saying, had the government, correct me if I'm wrong, intervened, then the opposition and everyone would have jumped up and said, look, you're trying to prop up Adani share.
Let me agree with Mr. Mohandas Pai. He has been a CFO of one of the biggest multinationals India has. He understands how a balance sheet works. Unfortunately, the people that you have quoted in your video clippings, 90% majority of them, I guess, don't understand what is the difference between a market capitalization, a debt, and an equity markets. Equity markets work on a variety of factors. The real test of Adani Group is their ability to service the debt. And if they have assets which are producing cash flows and they are able to service the debts, that's what the SBI chairman has also said. That is the fundamental issue over here. The $100 billion of net worth eroding also became so high suddenly, and over the last few years has also come down. Keep in mind, Meta, companies like Meta, which is Facebook, has lost $700 billion of market cap in over 6-8 months. All these companies go through a valuation correction. And maybe this is a valuation correction that the Adanis were, that has happened to the Adanis. But at the end of the day, it is for us, when you said, and I totally agree that, with Mr. Pai, that there is the equatability of Adanis with India was a wrong thing that Adanis did. India has a lot more players, a lot more active infrastructure players. I've been on a board of a few, and I can tell you that, it is the reverse, that Adanis have gained from India's growth.
That would be over presumption to think that you are the one who was sort of the engine driving India's growth. Okay, so I get that point, but this is very interesting. If the ability to serve...
The last point I want to make is valuations in the stock market are multiple factors: company performance, fundamentals, global pressures, geopolitical situations. Adani operates in 8-10 countries, maybe more. And as I said, they have to really come out of this crisis by showing that they have solid cash flows, and which they have done so far.
So if they have cash flow, they have the ability to service the debt, it is okay, then there should have been no problem. And I just want to come back to Prasenjit Bose before I bring in Dr. Ranganathan here. Prasenjit Bose, this is an important question. And this must be answered by opposition voices also. Do you think if
Rahul, you decided that you're going to have a political voice at the last.
Okay, Tanveer Ahmed, you want, okay, I'll bring you in, no problems. If you believe that your voice...
I'll
bring you in. Let me bring you in.
Adani, I'll keep quiet.
Let me bring you in.
If you really want to really tell how great Adani is India, I'll keep quiet.
But what makes you think that?
Adani is not India.
Prasenjit Basu is
No. Actually, this is a political debate,
No,
and
one
it was a
second.
political debate.
No, one
and
second.
you don't want to
Tanveer Ahmed.
really.
No, what makes you think that I want people to believe Adani is the greatest? I myself saying that he should not have.
All the political.
No, I don't think you've been paying attention. Like you didn't pay attention when the Hindenburg
No, I play
report
enough
hit the
attention,
ground.
Rahul. I've been patient. And
So then
anyway,
listen to
you
me.
Go ahead,
Okay, so is your ego being affected? Okay, I'll address yours. Sir, I'll massage your ego. Now I want to ask you. I just want to ask you this question because it's a valid question.
I don't need.
If you believe that Adani is morally bankrupt, etc., then do you believe that the opposition should be doing business with him? Simple question.
Rahul, firstly, let me just tell you one thing. Mr. Mohandas Pai, who's been and CFO of Infosys for such a long time, nobody really accused Infosys even this bit ever. Nobody accused Tata, nobody accused Birla, nobody accused Biocon. Why is that? Because we all know how is that their business is being done. Why particularly Hindenburg had... Acha, let me ask you a question. Short selling, is it a crime? No, it is a legally approved business model. And second thing, what is that magic wand Adani had that his share rose for 820%?
No, hang on.
I mean,
Mr.
Infosys
Ahmed,
was doing such
one
great
second.
business.
One
Did
second,
Infosys
Tanveer
share
Saab.
rise for 820%?
I want to ask you a specific question. We all know that Hindenburg never hit his motive. So if his motive was to drive down shares, then why were you giving him a platform? Simple. It's my question. And if you were, because you believe that Adani is corrupt, that Adani has played and manipulated stocks, that Adani doesn't have money, that he has assets to pledge against, then why is the opposition allowing him to play with my money, your money, in their states? It's a simple question. Can you answer this question?
Absolutely. Yes, I will certainly answer. The opposition wants India to grow.
Okay,
the opposition wants everybody to come and invest.
Of Mr.
We asked
Adani,
Facebook to come and invest. We asked
hang on,
Google
Mr.
to come and
Bansal.
invest.
Let me bring in
Nothing
Mr.
wrong.
Bansal.
Nothing
One
wrong.
second, Mr. Bansal.
Adani money does.
If you want,
money
one
is India
second.
money.
I'm sure you want India to grow on the back of businessmen who have the capacity to make India grow, not businessmen who are looting this country. So, Mr. Bansal, why are you giving business in Congress-ruled states to Mr. Adani, who you believe, as the Hindenburg report has said, and you believe it, and you want him to be examined, etc., is not kosher?
Well, Mr. Rahul, I would like to say that if the opposition governments are giving him, seeking investment from him, he is not the only one from whom we are seeking investment.
No, but he's a principal, your party president. Am I wrong, Mr. Bansal? Your party president says that Adani has grown very rich in the last 5 years because not because of Amrit Kal, because of Mitra Kal. He's best friends with Modi. Now, why are you entertaining a person who is best friends with Modi, who's benefiting not because his business is robust, but because Modi gives him money and public money?
No. Well, this is what I was saying. You didn't let me complete.
Yeah.
My point of view is that he's one of the investors in if you are citing Rajasthan case, he's one of the investors in Rajasthan. Unlike what we see in the model, in the economic model of the central government, that he appears to be Man Friday or the favorite of the central government or the finance ministry, that he's getting most of the context, irrespective of the fact that it may be in any field, green energy, ports, roadworks, and also that is our point of view. It should be widely spread. It should be widely spread amongst, as one of the speakers himself, a local MP, said, that he cannot be identified simply that Adani is India and India is Adani.
Yeah.
There are so many entrepreneurs, dynamic. They too should be given some space. Our point of
So
view
why don't you give them
simply
space?
this.
Why are you taking 15,000 crores in Rajasthan from Ambani? Do you know how much money is invested by Mr. Adani in Congress-ruled states? About 40,000 crores plus, if I'm not mistaken. I'll get this figure fact-checked.
Once you are citing this much of...
Rahul, firstly, it is not a favor. He's investing for profit.
But he's investing with money taken from supposedly... No, hang on. Hang on. Let me bring in Dr. Ranganathan here. Dr. Ranganathan, there are two or three issues here.
Absolutely no.
There is one issue about government slothfulness. Now, it could be argued that had the government intervened immediately, people would have said, "Dekho, mitra ko bachane aa gayi sarkar." That's one possible response. So the government keeps quiet. Well, you had a bloodbath. Now we can question why the government didn't come forth first. Forget them. The regulators stepped on the job. They should have come forth. On the face of it, they are supposed to be unalloyed. So maybe their word would have counted for something. Okay. But on the other side, you have the opposition that ran to the well of the House and said, this well is stinking. It has got bad Ambani money slushing around it. We know Hindenburg has told us this. Investigate this, Ambani. But listen, give us a little bit of money. We like it. We like the smell of it in our states. How do you see this?
Good evening, Rahul. I've been waiting very patiently and listening to this sterling discussion for 45 minutes. And I used to think that Rahul Gandhi is from Jupiter or another planet. It turns out that I am, along with him, from another planet, because I profoundly disagree tonight with all of my esteemed friendly panelists. Let me go. Please give me a couple of minutes or probably more, because it's very important. I must rebut each of those, what they've said. As far as my good friend Mr. Bansal is concerned, I mean, the hypocrisy is just unbelievable. Today, a freight train carrying coal mined by Adani Enterprises, thousands of tons of coal carried from Chhattisgarh to Rajasthan, where Adani Enterprise is going to make electricity that will be used by Rajasthan. Both are Congress-ruled states. As far as my good friend Tanveer is concerned, for him to say that others have never been accused of scam, why only Adani has been? Let me remind him of the Tata AirAsia scam. Let me remind him of the coal scam and allocations that Mr. Kumar Mangalam Birla was accused of. Let me remind that there is currently a CBI investigation on Biocon. So please get your facts right. And lastly, as far as my great friend, Mr. Mohandas Pai is concerned, I profoundly disagree with him. And please give me a couple of minutes, because number one, it is pointless to question the credibility or lack thereof of Hindenburg. Not only pointless, Rahul, it is foolhardy. And I'm surprised that so many are resorting to this tactic of, quite frankly, playing the victim card. That an Indian company has been conned by unscrupulous elements. What Adani and the government should have done, should have been doing from day zero, was to rebut the allegations and not the alleger. Sorry, I was about to say not the alligator. But instead, they have come out crying victim, saying India is under attack. So what? If Hindenburg turns out to be crooks, what they have alleged is what matters. Remember, grave allegations were made against Modi by unscrupulous elements. One day on Justice Loya, on Rafale, on Gujarat, and the whole lot of them were gone into detail and rebutted successfully. Did Modi cry that the allegations were not credible because the people made them who were not credible? Rahul, these allegations haven't been made by a newspaper that can shoot and scoot. Hindenburg has put its money where its mouth is. It has bought large amounts of Adani stock. If Adani tanks, Hindenburg will become rich. And if the allegations don't have any merit, then Hindenburg stands to make a massive loss. So let us please stop blaming Hindenburg, even if they lack credibility. Number two, you know, I used to think the BJP is a disaster at communications, but if there is someone who can beat even the BJP, it has to be Adani. I mean, both the Indian government and Adani Enterprises have come across as thorough unprofessionals in this affair. Absolutely appalling. The way a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate was caught like a rabbit in front of car headlights for 3 days before conjuring up a response to allegations. Equally appalling was the total lack of response, leave alone timely, of the government of India that is invested heavily in and whose banks have lent massively to Adani. This would have been funny were it not so tragic that these amateurish clowns and their lack of timely response has led to the wiping out of $110 billion worth of investor wealth. The response from Adani should have been made within hours of the allegations, where it should have come out videographed personally, like it did yesterday. And the government or institutional response of SEBI, RBI, PSU banks, LIC, CAG should have followed immediately. And those 413 pages of ridiculously varied font sizes rebuttal, cobbled together by what appears to be a confederacy of small-town MBA interns, should be a reminder that you may have billions, but it is pointless if you don't know on whom to use those billions on. Rahul, please give me 30 seconds. Point number 3 is very important. You know me. I am ambivalent about the success or failure of a private company because its path is dictated by competition through Darwinian evolution. What concerns me, Rahul, as an Indian, is that my nation's wealth has been wiped out. That the barometer of my nation's prosperity, the stock exchange has suffered. Therefore, last 20 seconds, it is absolutely crucial that a scrupulously independent Indian agency come out and either rebut or agree with the claims being made by any large multinational company against them. And it is not enough for people to say like Mohandas that India has enough checks and balances to detect fraud in time. Sorry, we clearly don't. Judging by Malia and Nirav Modi fiasco, if we don't act now, Rahul, we might as well shut down the stock exchange.
Well, let me just say one thing, viewers.
Instead, rumors and gossips.
Okay, rumors and gossips, very passionate, and a lot of it is right. I just want to say one thing that,
Please, Rahul.
Doctor, one second, I'm coming to you. You can rebut him, and I want to bring in Prasenjit Bose right after. No problem. Just give me 30 seconds. I just want to say something. You know, on the point, Dr. Ranganathan, about checking the antecedents of those that throw stones, let me tell you that when the judge-lawyer allegations were being flung about, the BJP's response was that these people were anti-nationals. So it does count for something. Nonetheless, I want to bring in Prasenjit. I want to bring in Mr. Pai since... Yeah, Mr. Pai, go ahead.
Rahul, I think Doc should stick to science and not talk about topics he doesn't understand. Nobody is criticizing. Please keep quiet. Doc, please keep quiet. Please keep quiet.
Behave yourself.
Please keep quiet.
Behave yourself.
Please keep quiet.
Gentlemen, now, gentlemen.
Please keep quiet, Doc. Please, I don't want Adani shares. Please keep. I know this matter better than you. Just keep quiet.
Now listen.
Please keep quiet.
Rahul,
Okay, now, gentlemen, one second. Let's not get...
I won't accept this.
Okay, let's not get personal. Let's not get personal.
Let him keep quiet.
Behave yourself.
Okay, let's not get personal. Now, let's knock it off. Yeah, knock it off. Yeah, what's the point you want to make, Mr. Pai?
Rahul, behave yourself.
Okay, make the point,
Rahul,
Mr. Pai.
Short selling is a normal activity in the stock market.
So what?
People short sell in the market from time to time. There's nothing wrong about short selling. Okay? Let's be very clear. Nobody is standing up for Hindenburg or standing against Hindenburg. Point number two, when you short sell, you make allegations to release information which may be right or wrong because you want to drive the market down to make money. Hindenburg has very clear, they are short selling and they're making money. Okay? Nobody is defending Hindenburg or criticizing Hindenburg because of normal activity. Okay, let's be very clear about it.
Hang on, fair enough. Hindenburg said what he had to say, but whose job was it to divest?
Let me come to that.
One second. Whose job was it to divest people of the notion that this was a major problem?
Rahul,
should it not have been government?
Rahul, it is not the government's job. Rahul, it's not the government's job to certify any stock in the market or give an opinion, because what information will they have? I make an allegation, you have to investigate. SEBI and RBI.
No, but Mr. Pai, are you telling me? No, hang on. Are you telling me that the SEBI was sleeping on the job? That is their job.
They have to investigate. They cannot use certificates.
But they should have been monitoring this. They should have been monitoring it from day one. The SEBI did not.
Rahul, you make a wild allegation and you're saying the SEBI should come and say it's wrong. A SEBI should come and say it's right.
Okay, Prasenjit Bose. Who has allowed panic, hysteria to manifest itself in the manner that it has? Prasenjit Bose.
I think that first of all, there has been a case of institutional failure, which is why the first question which should be addressed is that why did the Adani Group withdraw the FPO? The fact that it has withdrawn the FPO shows that there is something wrong. And the regulators, both the SEBI and the Reserve Bank of India, because Hindenburg is not the first organization to level allegations or raise questions vis-a-vis Adani. Had it been the first and the only source of allegations or criticisms, then one could have subscribed to what you are saying. But the Adani Group has come under question from several sources, including from several market players. The credit sides came up with a report a few months back, we know, questioning their level of debt. And there have been several other investigations, allegations, and so on. This is not a company.
So the regulators have failed. That's what you're saying, Mr. Bose. Now, let me tell you, viewers, because of this, people have got burnt. And I agree with Dr. Ranganathan. Now, we can talk about the extent, this, that, the other. But right now, one second. I want to say, viewers, because I've run out of time. The Adanis need to then... No, one second. There is a very important thing. Hindenburg Group has come out and said, sue us if we are wrong. They're saying, come, let's play ball in court. The Adanis then should, viewers, if they want to clean up, after all, it's their image that they say is tied up with India. So therefore, it's India's image then, if one were to take them at face value, that is at stake. Go sue the Hindenburg Group and win. That's what they need to do. I leave it at this, viewers.